He is a songwriter, and he didn't write his first song until he was in his early 40s, some 20 years after he started performing. He may read about that tonight, or he might just sing. Blues influenced, New Orleans inspired, song and groove man, and he's been so aptly described, luckily found his rightful calling writing songs, gritty narratives inspired by a lifetime of hard-won knowledge set against his gritty, soulful guitar and harmonica playing. He's gotten many awards, the Juno Award in Canada, and post-Katrina Ode, I Am the Big Easy, earned the International Folk Alliance 2009 Song of the Year. Just saw him in Kerrville, Texas, and pleased that Ray is with us here tonight. Please welcome Ray Bottom.
Thank you, Allison. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Nice to be here and among all these fine writers. And I myself am a novice writer. I've been a songwriter a long time, but I just started recently telling my story. And I'm going to read a little bit for you, but it's my first time doing this, so it has to do with how I started playing music and trying to get away from my father's oppressive religious influence. And I'll just read you, it's just going to take a second here. Through the open dormer window of the third floor room I shared with my brother Jack, I heard the long white station wagon pull into the driveway. That sound meant watch yourself, because the old man is home and there's no telling. I picked up the guitar and I hit the same chord over and over again with more intensity each time. I couldn't get enough of the chords I'd gotten off of page 1 in book 1. I put my ear right up against the guitar's round shoulder and hit the chords over and over again. My mother had bought me the used guitar when I was about 14, a year and a half after we'd moved to a town north of Boston from Quebec. Right away when I picked it up, I felt a slice of my father's dark religious influence being shaved away. The guitar spoke to me. It said, "I'm your new friend, and I'll help you throw the hound of your father's religion off your trail." To my mind, my father had himself been shanghaied by the church back up in Quebec. I was sure that he was somehow missing a piece of his own puzzle. As to whether or not the religion contributed to his unpredictable temper, I couldn't be sure because I was never privy to his younger life and what he himself might have gone through as a kid. But I did know that in the 1950s, the church was practically running the entire province of Quebec. My father may have had a PhD in engineering, but he seemed to be short on common sense and social skills. I wanted him to be more like my Uncle Red, who took me fishing on the Ottawa River in the summertime and was the kind of guy who knew how to show love and understanding. I thought that if my father had ever had those qualities, they surely had been trampled on by the heavy boot of his church. It was soon after I was old enough to reason up in Quebec that I'd begun to suspect that my father's church was all show, with its fake gold and incense. They don't care if I'm happy or not, I thought to myself. They just want to control me. These guilty suspicions had saturated my young world back in Quebec, where I'd had no choice but to go to a school where the same tired prayers were recited over and over by rote, and where fairy tale catechism was pushed like a narcotic drug. But now I was in the U.S. and I was going to a public school. I just wanted to get away from it, but the old man kept on pushing it down our throats. When I first got to the U.S., the school principal, seeing my language barrier as a handicap, had stuck me in with some unmotivated students and left me there to fester. Unchallenged, I lost interest and had taken to losing myself in 45 RPM records by Roy Orbison, Elvis Presley, Rick Nelson, and other 50s artists, trying to get as close as I could to the infectious rhythms and the slick guitars. Then when the English bands came along, I fell even harder for that. My brother and I formed a band with 2 other guys from school. I was now about 15 years old, and our band was making a bit of money on weekends playing frat house parties throughout New England. We were still too young to play in bars. My older brother Jack had a driver's license and drove the 1957 two-tone green Cadillac ambulance we'd bought for next to nothing. It still had the high red dome light on its roof and long sweeping fins in the back. It was a heavy boat that swayed like a bossy manner going around the turns. By the time I got to the 11th grade, I had stopped caring about school entirely. I only cared about the band and my tall girlfriend, Sally. I was secretly afraid of girls, but did my best not to let on that my father's religious obsessions had made me feel weird around the opposite sex. One time when I'd first arrived in the U.S., I was slow dancing with a girl at a junior high school dance when my father actually came into the gym and separated me from the girl, saying I was dancing too close to her. The intrusion had filled me with shame and resentment for my father, and I never did forget it. I was kind of popular in school now because I played in a band. I hung around with bad boy guitar players and didn't care about anything other than my band and Sally. By then I smoked Camel Straights, drank from a flask, and was getting into trouble with the law for petty crimes. I flushed a cherry bomb down the toilet at school and was expelled for that, and a long list of other infractions. I got a job in a tree nursery, but was fired for sleeping on the job in the warehouse. My father told me that he couldn't have me in the house any longer without me paying rent, and that I was setting a bad example for my brothers and sisters. He told me he didn't think I had the balls to join the Army. A few days later, I came home with papers from the Marine Corps recruiter for my father to sign. If he signed, I'd be going off to boot camp at Parris Island as soon as I turned 17. My father signed those papers, and a little over a year and a half later, I stepped off the lower tail of a C-130 onto the hot tarmac and into the bad breath of the Vietnam War. Thank you. So one time in a motel, I wrote this little song about a girl who's walking by the graveyard where her father is. And you know, I wrote it and I played it out and I recorded it. And but I didn't really know much about this girl. And I just wondered why I had written it, you know. And then my father, my own father, the father in the story, he got sick and he was going to go. And I said to myself, well, I didn't like the guy. I didn't get along with him, so when he dies, I'm not going to feel anything, you know. Then he died, and I was really wrong. I felt a lot of conflicting things about him, and realized that you only have one father, and no matter what, he's your father, and it was quite churning inside of me, you know. So I wrote this little song called Cemetery Road. I'll sing it for you. Can you hear me all right? Cemetery Road, she went walking. She went walking, the sun gone low. It was getting darker. The sun gone low, it was getting darker. She went walking a little bit further on Cemetery Road. Hey, tell me, Papa, why is it so? You never said you loved me. All those years I wanna know. I never heard it from you. All those years, ain't that something? Now you got me out here wondering, walking on this cemetery road. On cemetery road. Hey, what were you like a long time ago when you were young, Daddy? So many things I'll never know. Now you're gone and it gets me where it don't show. I keep my tears down below unless I'm walking on cemetery road. However many years I have left in my life, I'll be your child, I'll let you rest, and I won't hide. No, I won't hide from being a child, but in your heart you must have cried, seeing me walking on cemetery road. You must have seen me walking on cemetery road. Thank you. Well, thanks, guys. Here's one about a guy who can only find home when he's moving, avoiding things. It's called "I've Been a Train." And after this, I'm gonna call Marvin up to do a song with me. It's Marvin, right? Can you hear the guitar okay, Phil?
Yeah.
I usually play electric guitar, and I'm not used to playing this thing. Except when I'm home and a little bit high. I've been a train with no destination. I'll never pull into the station. I always take the long way around. A train I used to think it was true, made out of steel, harm-proof. I know better now. A train can derail and fall off the tracks in a pile. There ain't no way to see what's around the bend in time now. I've been a train. rain and fall off the tracks in a pile. There ain't no way to see what's around the bend in time. Now I've been a train, you might have heard my song passing through your town, never slowing down, never slowing down. I don't know, let's do a thing called Going by Feel in the key of B minor. Sure. Yeah. You okay with that? You're pretty brave, man. We have never played together, we're just gonna... Hey, Spike, could you bring me my water that's sitting right there? I'm mighty thirsty.
My pleasure. I swapped it out for vodka.
Did you?
Okay.
Well, I don't drink.
Yeah, well, I gotta be a real plain crank. I don't drink
Young bird flew on new wings, knew what to do instinctively. He didn't ask how, wonder why. He just went out into the sky, going by feel, going by feel. Let a river starts out slow, faster and bigger as she goes. Every curve shallow and deep, gone home to the sea. Going by faith, going by fear. I can't say why, but some days I close my eyes, I see your face. I hear your words in my ear, nothing's for sure. Go by feel. What do you got to say about that, Malvern? Firefly coming this way, flickering light as if to say, time ain't but this long. Here tonight, tomorrow gone. I can't say why, but some days I close my eyes, I see your face. I hear your words in my ear, nothing's for sure. Go by feel. Here it comes from behind the cloud, the big old sun is shining down. If it comes without a sound, can you feel it now? Gone by field, gone by field. Same thing. Going by field. Let's go out together, woman. Let's go out together. Marvin Dykehouse on the guitar vocals. Thank you very much.